The day my sister stole my fiancé, everyone expected me to cry, scream, or beg him to stay. But I did none of that. Instead, I smiled and let her marry him. Because some lies don't need to be exposed. Sometimes the truth is far more satisfying when it reveals itself. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you enjoyed dramatic, real-life style stories about betrayal, revenge, and unexpected justice, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Now let's begin.
For most of my life, people said I was the lucky one. That was the word they always used, lucky. I had a stable job at a marketing firm in the city, an apartment that overlooked the river, and a life that seemed carefully built piece by piece. Nothing about it happened overnight. I worked long hours, skipped vacations, and sacrificed a lot of things people my age enjoyed. But eventually, it paid off. And then there was Ryan. We met at a friend's engagement party 3 years earlier. He had that kind of presence that made people naturally turn toward him in a room. Confident, well-dressed, easy with conversation. Within minutes of talking to him, I understood why people liked him so much. He listened when I spoke, he remembered small details, and unlike a lot of men I dated before, he seemed serious about building a future. A year later, he proposed. It was simple but perfect. Just the two of us during a quiet weekend trip by the lake. The sun was setting over the water when he knelt down with the ring in his hand. "Marry me," he said softly. I didn't hesitate for even a second before saying yes. From that moment on, everything felt like it was falling into place. Wedding planning began, our families started getting closer, and Ryan slowly became part of every aspect of my life, including my younger sister, Chloe. Chloe had always been the unpredictable one in the family. While I was the planner, the responsible daughter, she was the spontaneous one who jumped from one idea to the next. Jobs never lasted long for her, relationships ended quickly. My parents loved her deeply, but they worried about her constantly. When Ryan first met her, he treated her with the same kindness he showed everyone. At family dinners, he'd ask her about her plans. When she complained about work problems, he'd offer advice. Once, when her car broke down, he even drove across town to help her. I remember thinking how lucky I was to have someone who cared about my family the way he did. Sometimes the three of us would end up talking for hours after dinner. Chloe would laugh at Ryan's jokes, teasing him like they'd known each other for years. At the time, it felt normal, comfortable, safe. If anything, I thought it was a good sign. My fiancé and my sister getting along meant fewer problems once we were all officially family. Looking back now, I realized something strange. There were little moments I ignored. A glance that lasted a second too long, private jokes I didn't fully understand, times when Chloe would message Ryan instead of me about family plans. But at the time, none of it seemed important, because when you trust people completely, your mind doesn't search for betrayal. It searches for reasons to believe everything is fine. And I believed it. Completely. Until one evening, 3 months before the wedding, when I decided to surprise Ryan at his apartment with dinner. I thought I was walking in to see the man I was about to marry. Instead, I heard my sister's voice coming from his bedroom, and the sounds of laughter that immediately made my stomach drop. I wasn't supposed to find out that way, but in the next few seconds, my entire life was about to change. And what I saw when that door opened was something I would never forget.
The hallway outside Ryan's apartment was quiet when I arrived. I was holding a bag of takeout from his favorite restaurant, smiling to myself as I searched for my spare key. He had been working late all week, and I thought a surprise dinner might make his night a little better. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The lights were on. For a moment, I felt relieved. Maybe he had come home earlier than expected. Then I heard laughter. Not just any laughter. Chloe's. I froze. At first, my brain tried to explain it away. Maybe she had stopped by. Maybe they were talking about the wedding. Maybe, but the laughter was coming from Ryan's bedroom. My heart started beating faster with every step I took down the hallway. "Ryan?" I called softly. No answer, but the laughter stopped. That was when I reached the door. It wasn't fully closed, just slightly open, and through that narrow gap I saw enough. Ryan sitting on the edge of the bed, Chloe standing between his knees, his hands around her waist. For a moment, none of us moved. Then Chloe turned her head and saw me. Her face drained of color instantly. "Wait," she gasped. Ryan spun around so fast he almost fell off the bed. "Listen, this isn't—" But I didn't need to hear the explanation. The room suddenly felt too small, too quiet. My chest tightened, but strangely, no tears came out, just silence. Chloe started crying almost immediately. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this," she said, her voice shaking. Ryan stood up and ran a hand through his hair. "It's not what you think," he said quickly. I looked at both of them, my fiancé, my sister, standing in the same room trying to explain something that didn't need explaining. "How long?" I asked. Neither of them answered. That silence told me everything. Long enough. Long enough that this wasn't a mistake. It was a secret, one they both been hiding from me. Finally, Chloe whispered, "It just happened." But deep down, I already knew something worse. Things like this don't just happen. They build slowly, quietly, behind your back. And judging by the way they looked at each other, this had been going on for a long time. I should have screamed. I should have thrown the ring back at Ryan and walked out. But instead, I just stood there, strangely calm. Because in that moment, something inside me changed. And although they didn't realize it yet, walking away from that apartment would be the smartest decision I'd ever make. What Ryan and Chloe didn't know was that the worst part of this story wasn't the betrayal. It was the secret about Ryan that I was about to uncover. After that night, everything changed. Word travels fast in families, especially when betrayal is involved. Within a week, everyone knew what had happened between Ryan, Chloe, and me. But the reactions I received weren't what I expected. Instead of anger toward them, most of the pressure somehow landed on me. My mother called first. "Please don't make this worse than it already is," she said carefully, as if every word had to be chosen with extreme caution. "Worse?" I asked quietly. "Mom, she slept with my fiancé." "I know, but Chloe says they didn't plan it. She says they fell in love." Fell in love. The words felt almost surreal, as if betrayal could suddenly become romantic just by changing the story. A few days later, my parents asked me to come to dinner. I already had a feeling Ryan and Chloe would be there. And I was right. The atmosphere at the table felt tense from the moment I walked in. Chloe couldn't even look at me at first. Ryan tried to act calm, but his eyes kept shifting nervously between everyone in the room. Finally, Chloe spoke. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "I didn't want things to happen like this." I looked at her for a long moment before answering. But they did. Ryan leaned forward. "We didn't mean to hurt you." I almost laughed at that. Didn't mean to. Those words sounded ridiculous considering the situation. Then came the part that shocked me the most. Chloe slowly reached for Ryan's hand, and he didn't pull away. "We're together now," she said softly. The room went silent. My father cleared his throat awkwardly while my mother stared down at her plate. Then Ryan spoke again. "We think it's better if we're honest about everything moving forward." Honest. That word had a strange weight coming from him. A week later, they made their announcement to the rest of the family. Ryan and Chloe were getting married. Just like that. No hesitation. No shame. Everyone waited to see how I would react. They expected tears, anger, a fight. But instead, I simply smiled. "I hope you two are happy," I said calmly. The room fell completely silent, because what none of them understood at that moment was that I had already started asking questions about Ryan. And the more I looked into his life, the more I realized something didn't add up. In fact, the man my sister was about to marry might not be the man any of us thought he was. After Ryan and Chloe announced their engagement, everyone expected me to disappear from the situation, to grieve quietly, to move on. But that wasn't what I did. Instead, I started paying attention. At first, it wasn't about revenge. It was about something that had been bothering me for months, long before the betrayal happened. Ryan's finances. When we were still engaged, there were small things that didn't quite make sense. Phone calls he would take in another room, bills that arrived in sealed envelopes he never let me open, occasional moments when he seemed unusually stressed about money, even though he always talked about his business being very successful. Back then, I trusted him. I assumed successful people just had complicated financial lives. But now, I wasn't so sure. So I began digging. I started with the simplest things: public business records, company registrations, property ownership. The deeper I looked, the stranger things became. The company Ryan always bragged about online barely showed any real revenue. In fact, several financial reports suggested the business had been losing money for years. That alone was concerning. But it wasn't the worst part. A few days later, while going through some old emails from when we were planning the wedding, I noticed something strange. One of the documents Ryan had sent me months earlier contained a financial agreement. At the time, I barely read it. I trusted him. Now, I opened it again carefully. My stomach dropped as I read the details. Ryan had quietly listed my name as a financial guarantor for one of his business loans, a very large loan. My signature was there, except I had never signed anything like that, which meant only one thing. My fiancé, the man I was supposed to marry, had forged my signature. Suddenly, everything made sense. The secrecy, the stress, the strange financial behavior. Ryan hadn't just betrayed me emotionally. He had been planning to tie me legally to his debts. If we had gotten married, those problems would have become mine too. My future, my savings, my credit, all connected to a financial disaster I didn't even know existed. And Chloe had no idea. She thought she had stolen my perfect life, but in reality, she had just married the biggest mistake of her own. Still, I didn't say a word. Not to my parents, not to Chloe, not even to Ryan, because by that point, something much bigger had already started moving behind the scenes. The bank had begun reviewing several suspicious transactions connected to Ryan's company, and once they finished their investigation, Ryan's secrets wouldn't stay hidden anymore. But the real question was this: when the truth finally exploded, would my sister realize the life she stole from me was actually a ticking bomb? Despite everything that had happened, the wedding went forward. In fact, it was bigger than anyone expected. Chloe wanted something beautiful, something that proved to everyone that she had found her perfect ending. The venue was a large garden estate just outside the city, decorated with white roses, golden lights, and long, elegant tables. From the outside, it looked like something out of a magazine. And strangely enough, I was invited. When the invitation arrived, my mother called immediately. "You don't have to come," she said gently, "but it might help the family if you did." Help the family. Those words had become very familiar lately. So, after thinking about it for a few days, I gave a simple answer. "I'll be there." The day of the wedding arrived warm and clear. Guests filled the garden, chatting happily as soft music played in the background. If anyone felt uncomfortable about the situation, they didn't show it. When I walked in, a few people stared. Some whispered, others looked at me with sympathy. But I ignored all of it and quietly took a seat near the back. A few minutes later, Ryan locked down the aisle with a confident smile, greeting guests as if nothing unusual had ever happened. Then, Chloe appeared. She looked radiant in a long white dress, her face glowing with excitement as she walked toward the altar. For a moment, our eyes met. I wondered if she felt even a little guilt. If she did, she didn't show it. The ceremony was short: simple vows, polite applause, and smiling photographs. Soon enough, the officiant asked the final question. "Do you take each other as husband and wife?" "I do," Ryan said immediately. Chloe squeezed his hand. "I do." The guests clapped as they kissed, and just like that, they were married. Everyone celebrated late into the evening. Laughter, music, champagne flowing from table to table. People said the wedding was beautiful, perfect even. I stayed for a while, watching quietly as the newly married couple greeted guests and posed for photos. Then, before the night ended, I slipped out. Because by that point, something had already begun unfolding behind the scenes. 2 weeks earlier, the bank's investigation into Ryan's finances had officially turned into something much more serious. And investigations like that don't stop at paperwork. Sooner or later, they reach the people connected to the person being investigated, which meant that very soon, Ryan's new wife was about to discover exactly what she had married into.
For a few weeks after the wedding, everything looked perfect, at least on the surface. Chloe posted smiling photos online, honeymoon pictures, romantic dinners, captions about new beginnings and true love. Friends congratulated them. Family members tried to pretend that everything had finally settled down. But real life doesn't stay hidden forever. About 3 months after the wedding, the truth finally surfaced. It started quietly. Ryan's company accounts were suddenly frozen. One of his business partners filed a lawsuit claiming financial misconduct. Then another creditor appeared, and another. Soon the rumors began spreading. Debt, fraud investigations, unpaid loans. The same successful businessman everyone admired was now being questioned by banks and lawyers. And because Chloe had illegally married him, his problems were no longer his alone. One evening, my phone rang. Chloe's name appeared on the screen. I stared at it for a few seconds before answering. Her voice was shaking. "You knew, didn't you?" she said immediately. I stayed silent. "You knew something was wrong with him," she continued, her breathing uneven. "Why didn't you warn me?" For a moment, I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the lies, the day I walked into that bedroom. Finally, I spoke. "I didn't know everything," I said calmly, "but I knew enough to walk away." She started crying. "He ruined my life," she whispered. Those words hung in the air between us. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered something important. Ryan didn't force her to betray me. Ryan didn't force her to take my place. She made that choice herself. So I answered quietly, "No, Chloe, he didn't ruin your life. You chose it." The line went silent. Eventually, she hung up. That was the last time we spoke for a long time. And as the legal problems around Ryan grew worse, I realized something strange. For months, I had thought I lost everything: my fiancé, my future, my plans. But in reality, I had lost the one thing that would have destroyed my life. Sometimes betrayal feels like the end of the world, but sometimes it's the thing that saves you. Because in the end, my sister didn't steal my future. She married the lie that was meant for me, and I walked away free. In the end, betrayal reveals people for who they truly are. My sister took the man she thought was my perfect future. But the truth is, she married the lie that came with him, and I walked away free. Sometimes the best revenge isn't fighting back. It's letting the truth do the work for you. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves powerful storytelling. And I'll see you in the next video.